Today, Big Daddy is taking me to Fort Steuben, like I told you in the last video, Monday, and we're going to go check it out. I have my Passport America book. If I can get it stamped, I will, and I'm excited about that. We'll take you along. This is the little police station, City Hall. What was that? Was the courthouse?
That was the courthouse. See the Lady Justice up there?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do now. And this is the Memorial Gardens. We'll go check that out when we come out. But we're going to get in the visitor center here.
It says open.
Yay! I just finished editing the video and realized I didn't really explain in it why this fort was here. So I just wanted to jump on. I'm just going to throw some pictures up here. But this was built in 1786. Now this one's a replica, but the original fort was built in 1786. It was after the War of Independence from Great Britain had ended, and the new nation of the United States was comprised of 13 states under the Articles of the Confederation. And its seat of government was in New York, but without the power to tax or raise money, the government was in desperate need of revenue. So the Continental Congress concluded that much of the new territory should be sold as public land to provide money for the government to operate. So they had to get surveyors to go out there and find out its worth. So the First American Regiment was sent to protect the surveyors from attacks by the local Shawnee and Delaware Indians, who were hostile to the advances of the white man. Major John Hamtramck, which you'll hear me butcher the name throughout, directed the construction of the fort to house the 150 men plus the surveyors. There we go. Now let's carry on with the video. And here we are in the Visitors Center, and Dean Martin was born in Steubenville, Ohio. His name was Dino Grassetti, and he was born in 1917, and he was the son of Italian immigrants. I will put a picture here of the historical marker with more information, and that way you can pause and read that if you're interested in more of that. There were 8 presidents born in Ohio, and this listed them all. I knew I'd seen that in East Liverpool, but those are listed here too. Now this is a replica mini version of the fort that we're going to go visit, and I'm just going to walk around the rest of the museum and show you what they had in here. It's very interesting. And here's the information on the Eastern legacy of Lewis and Clark. And now that this fort is part of that journey, I was able to get my Passport America book stamped. And here's the magnet we picked up for our magnet board. And now we're going to go out and check out the fort. The commissary was where all the food items were kept once they finally arrived from the contractor. The barrels stored here would have been filled with flour, beef, whiskey, salt, and bacon. The deer carcass hanging there is a reminder of the many times the government contractor failed to supply food to the cold and hungry soldiers. Captain Hamtramck, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, did anticipate the government's inability to supply the troops and hired Andrew Van Swergen, a soldier from the Virginia side of the river, to be on call to hunt for food. Oh my, the sky don't look good.
That ain't looking too good.
I've done this up nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at all these tools. I was immediately taken back by these instruments. They did look like instruments of torture, which it said at the bottom of the sign that I'm going to post now, and it gives some information about the doctor. The doctor here was Dr. John Elliott. This is the Frontier Camp. Oh, wow. What does that do?
What are they doing?
A fur press.
Oh.
Used to compress furs into bundles called packs to be sold to fur traders. The ideal weight of a pack was considered to be about 90 pounds. Look, he's doing Menu Monday. When the surveyors were out on the line, the soldiers camped with them to provide protection. A frontiersman or scout assisted them in finding trails and food in the wilderness. The display shows some of the supplies they may have had with them, as well as the animal pelts and trapping equipment they may have had. It was a really extensive line of equipment and tools here, and they had them all numbered, and then you could read them off of the board and find out what they were. It was really interesting. I wonder if it looks out over the river. I mean, I'm assuming that's the purpose of this fort.
Up to 10 people can go up there.
Well, there's only 2 of us, so let's go have a look. Yeah, it overlooks the river. That's what I thought. And this, folks, is the Ohio River, and on the other side of it is West Virginia. Captain Hamtramck chose the second rise above the river for the site of Fort Steuben for its commanding view of the river, up and down. An elevation above that rise then would be even better, and that is the function of the guardhouse. Legend has it that one guard was so cold he couldn't sleep, and he went to relieve an officer on guard. It was actually one of his bunkmates, and when he got there, the guard was asleep, and he stabbed him in the neck and killed him. Took his clothes, and then put his body in the black hole, which is where they had prisoners in the day. I'm going to leave you here with the story, which has much more information, and you can pause it to read it if you're interested in that. They say you can still hear footsteps and cries from the black hole. Alright, this is where the enlisted men lived. The soldiers' life was hard at Fort Steuben. The 4 blockhouses each held about 28 men, 2 men in each bunk. But since there was always men out on patrol, drilling, pulling sentry duty, most of the men had the bunks to themselves when they were able to sleep. The men did their own washing and cooking by the light of candles or the fire in the hearth. Now, Captain Hamtramck, hit upon a motivation for his troops. Each company would be responsible for a blockhouse, and the first to finish would receive 6 gallons of whiskey. The second would receive 4, and the last would have to dig the ditch for the pickets. The race began on October 27th, and with such incentive, by noon on the 29th, all the blockhouses were completed except for the roofs. The men then worked together to complete the other buildings, and by November 4th, the troops moved in. Just in time, because the foul weather had slowed the construction. It was getting cold. Okay, this is the
Blacksmith.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the blacksmith made tools as well as horseshoes, I take it, or is those his tools?
He had to make it.
All right, and inside there were so many more tools, and of course his bed. It was dark in here, though, so I do hope you can see the footage. I didn't spend too much time on the right-hand side because that's where it was dark. But the artificer, it was generally an enlisted man or contracted civilian who slept in the building to protect his tools. And the structure was recessed from the picket wall since it was subject to fire. There were some amazing tools in this room. And like Big Daddy said, not only is he a blacksmith, he has to make the tools to do the work. Amazing. Now we're going into the officers' quarters. There were 14 officers, and the bedroom that we're looking at now belonged to Major Hamtramck. And this bed is collapsible and portable, and was transported with him as he traveled. It was very small. He must have been a short man. The next room's the kitchen where the enlisted men served as cooks. And then the table in the parlor was used for dining, as well as a place for surveyors to spread out their maps and plan their day's activities. In the large bedroom are the beds and personal items of the officers and surveyors. Now the ropes which served to hold the mattresses, they were cotton, ticking, stuffed with straw. They'd often stretch and sag, so they would pull the ropes to tighten them. They say that may be the origin of the expression sleep tight. And now we're down at the fort. We're going to explore Steubenville and start at the Veterans Memorial Fountain. And these memorial bricks commemorate events and people from the area. And the bricks can be purchased at the Visitor Center. What a beautiful fountain. Steubenville has some beautiful buildings. This was one that caught my eye. And then on the corner of this building, there are some historical markers as well. So we're going to go down there and have a look. The first one was for Edwin Stanton, who was the Secretary of War, but he was also U.S. Attorney General and Justice U.S. Supreme Court, as you read here. He's a busy man. Our next historical marker was for Abraham Lincoln, as he and his family stopped in 1861 on their way to his inauguration in D.C. Steubenville's nickname is City of Murals, and the ones we saw were amazing. That was 2. Apparently there's 25 of them, but we didn't see them all. Hey everybody, we got done with the downtown Steubenville area, and now I have a project. It's one for the house. I showed you my Mimi's coffee cup photo, and they've got glass in them, and I'm afraid, usually what I do when we move is I pull them off the wall and store them, but I thought, you know what, I'm tired of doing that. I have 3 8x10 pictures, that's it. So we ordered online this morning 3 8x10 pieces of plexiglass, and I'm going to pick that up and I'm going to get some Velcro at Lowe's. So we're heading there now, and we'll see you in a little while. Bye. Hey everybody, it's actually the next day. I did pick up the Velcro, but I wasn't happy with it. Let's see. It's just pulling it out. Bear with me. I hope you enjoyed the trip to Steubenville. It's a lot of fun. A lot of neat stuff there. One day I'm going to go back and check out the other murals. They're supposed to be lovely. Anyway, these are the plexiglass sheets that I'm going to use for the picture frame. This is the Velcro I picked up. It's not true Velcro. It's like the plastic kind. And I didn't have much luck with those. I had some pictures in the bedroom that used that kind. And after about a year, they just started falling, all of them. So I'm going to get some other Velcro and put this at the end of my Get It All Done video that will be coming out next Thursday. So I just wanted to jump on here and end this video and say thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next week on a Get It All Done. Love y'all. Bye-bye. Oh, if you made it to the end, give me a footprint emoji. Thanks, guys. I love it, seeing who's going to the end. Bye.